One of the most difficult things to be able to manage in your life is what to do when you fall. To know that your life is not over and the game does not stop just because you bruised your arm, or to feel pain and rise up anyway and say the fight is not lost just because I fell in the first round, just because I got tackled or ran into an opposition. And many of you have run into something, got some bruises, and you're sitting on the sidelines nursing your wounds, when you need to get back up again and get in the game.
No matter what happens to you, it ain't over. Ain't no such a thing as over. As long as God wakes you up, that means he ain't through with you yet. You got a shot to correct it and get it right.
You can decide that you're going to stand up to life. You'll get knocked down, but you won't be knocked out. And all of these things that are happening to me right now, they're just temporary inconveniences. They're not stronger than I am. You have the power to make that decision.
Somebody sent me a plaque one time that said, if you're going through hell, why stop there? You just got to fight through, man. You got to bite back sometime.
If you're going to fulfill your destiny, you have to have a made-up mind that no matter what comes against you, you're going to keep pressing forward, looking for your next victory. You have to have a warrior mentality. And if you will shake off the self-pity, then God will not only bring you out, but he's promised he will bring you out better off than you were before.
I was reading this article about Mike Tyson. It was very, very interesting. Heavyweight champion of the world. And now he's struggling. At 20, Tyson soared to uncommon heights as the youngest heavyweight champion in history. 19 years ago, he was at the top of his game. Everybody was talking about him. He was the flavor of the month because everybody loves you when you're up on your feet. He won his first 37 fights before Buster Douglas shocked him. See, what makes falling terrible is when you've gotten used to winning. Sometimes a loss will shock you. See, some of you have had so many losses that winning shocks you. But there are others of you that have had so many victories that when something really goes wrong, how do I overcome failure? The article says over time, Tyson spiraled downward. Once he started losing, he couldn't stop it. So many failures, he's lost all trust in everybody. I will never be happy, he says. I believe I'll die alone. I've been a loner all my life with my secrets and my pain. I'm really a sad, pathetic case, he says. I just want to escape. I'm really embarrassed with myself and my life. You don't have to be Mike Tyson to look back over your life and say, I'm embarrassed to be in the mess I'm in right now. He said in the article, he says, people think more highly of Jeffrey Dahmer than they do Mike Tyson. Because when you start going down, the same people who rushed in to cheer you on and got into fist fights about anybody who said anything against you, when you start going down, those same people, that's why you can't get drunk off the accolades of people, because people will change on you in a minute. People will fall out with you about something that has nothing to do with them. They just heard somebody say something and now they hate.
But here's the key. You can't become so dependent on people that you're getting your worth out of how they treat you. It's easy to become addicted to compliments, addicted to encouragement. Now you rely on them to keep you feeling good about yourself, to always be there to validate you. Like a drug, if they don't keep you fixed, you get discouraged, work overtime to try to win their approval. If you rely on people, you'll be disappointed. People will let you down. Sometimes people will even turn on you. In the scripture, Peter was Jesus' close friend. But when Jesus needed Peter the most, when he was about to be crucified, Peter denied that he even knew Christ. Quit relying on people. What they do or don't do doesn't determine your worth. If you're always depending on somebody else, you'll become needy, waiting for other people to keep you fixed. Learn to receive your value from your Heavenly Father. If you're basing that off of what people give you, then if they change their mind, you'll feel devalued. But when you go to God for it, nobody can take it away. Shake off the disrespect. Don't believe the lies that you're not talented enough, attractive enough. They don't determine your value. The only power people have over you is the power that you give them. Jesus had all kinds of people come against him, trying to discredit him, make him feel inferior, cause him to give up. He could have taken the bait, but Jesus understood this principle. He said to them in John chapter 5, your approval or disapproval means nothing to me. He was saying, I don't have to have your encouragement, your support to keep me moving forward. But when we know the Creator of the universe equipped us, empowered us, anointed us, we can put our shoulders back, knowing that if God approves us, we don't have to have people's approval. You can feel good about who you are, knowing that God handpicked you, put seeds of greatness on the inside. You don't need somebody's praise. If nobody's complimenting you, you can compliment yourself. Get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror. Good morning, you good-looking thing. Call it by faith. Say what God says about you. I'm strong. I'm healthy. I'm one of a kind. I'm highly favored. You have to encourage yourself. You cannot rely on your spouse, your parents, your pastor. They may mean well, but no person can meet all of your needs. If you're just looking to people, eventually you're going to become resentful, start holding that against them. It will sour the relationship. If they're not giving you what you need, and that was the only way to get it, they would control your destiny. God didn't design the plan for your life and say, okay, it's all dependent on if these other people do what's right. Well, God put everything you need within your power. I've heard it said in a relationship, the most the other person will have is 80% what you need. The mistake we make is we leave the 80 to go find the 20 in somebody else. The problem is that next person will be missing 20% as well. Part of the 20% that I'm missing that Victoria needs is I don't like to talk a lot. Small talk is not one of my favorite things. Victoria and her family, they can talk for hours. They enjoy each other. We were having lunch one time at our house with all of her family, and after about 30 minutes, I asked to be excused, and I went to the back and watched the football game. 3.5 hours later, I came back, and they were still sitting at the table. Nobody had moved. I said, what are you talking about? Victoria said, nothing. The key to a good relationship is to recognize the other person's strengths and weaknesses, then give them room to be who they are. What I appreciate about Victoria is she doesn't say, Joel, come in here and visit with us for 3.5 hours or I'll get upset. But she recognizes that's a part of the 20% that I don't have. I thank God every day that I didn't get it. But Victoria, she doesn't try to squeeze me into her mold. She doesn't try to get something from me that I don't have. Sometimes God will let us go through seasons where we're not getting what we expect from people, to teach us to not rely on another person, but to get our encouragement, our worth from Him.
Taking responsibility for your own life. Taking responsibility for whatever happens to you. Knowing that what is happening now, today, is the direct result of your activity, what you did yesterday. Self-reliance means counting on yourself, being confident with yourself, being responsible to yourself, taking the credit that is due you, learning from the mistakes that you have made, being self-reliant. By not being prepared, you make the choice of getting caught in some of life's unpleasant circumstances. By not being prepared, thinking ahead, it's your choice. By being prepared, you increase your chances of success, of seizing opportunities when they come your way. Some people tend to blame others for their mistakes, blame others for their failures. Now, you can't control what others around you do, but it's in your own best self-interest that you stay on top of things, especially if it's going to affect your future. Be responsible for the things that affect you. Now, my approach to my better future very early on in my career was to just go through the day with my fingers crossed. If you change, it'll all change. Don't put it on someone else. Take responsibility for yourself. You can't change the circumstances or the seasons or the wind, but you can change your reading habits. Multiply your value by 2, 3, 5, 10. That you have control of. And if you don't, that's your fault. You've got to be self-reliant. You. Nobody else can change your life, pave a golden road for you. But you can. Be responsible for yourself. Learn to reap the harvest without complaint. Take full responsibility. It's your crop. Whatever your paycheck is, take full responsibility. Whenever your preparations lead to success, you reinforce the disciplines that got you there. If what you're doing is working, keep doing it. If what you're doing isn't working, change it. Learning that there are rewards for doing something good. The better you do, the better your reward. A bigger paycheck, a better house, it's all a reward system. If what you are doing, the habits you've gotten into, are building your ambition and increasing your success, keep doing them. Your success tells you that you need to keep doing what you are doing. Now here's the other side. By reviewing your habits, you may find out that some of them are inhibiting your success. Or you may realize that you've gotten out of some very good habits. Somebody says, well, I used to read the books all the time. I've just gotten out of the habit. Then change it. Just get back into the habit. It's called discipline. You can wish for the wind not to blow quite as severely, to change in your favor, but we call that naive at best. Don't wish for a better wind. The key is to wish for the wisdom to set a better sail. I became a millionaire when I was 31, and I found it was easy. Now here's my definition of easy. It was something I could do. But here's a little parenthesis. I worked hard at it. I made sure I did all that I could. I found something that I could do, but I worked hard at it. But what I did was easy, meaning it was something I could do. Well, you say, Mr. Rohn, if it was so easy, how come all those other people around you didn't get rich? Here's why. It's easy not to. It's easy to keep doing the things that don't work. It's easy to keep bad habits. It's easy not to develop the disciplines. Here's a philosophical phrase. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Here's the key formula for success. A few disciplines practiced every day. What should you spend your time doing? Don't waste your time on things that aren't going to matter. Now here's the formula for failure. Errors in judgment, repeated every day. I'm telling you, they'll spin out of control in 10 years. Bad habits every day, it's disastrous. Bad habits don't show their horrible results at the end of the first day. It's easy to get faked out. They're so subtle, they get you a little off course, and all of a sudden you're caught. So you've got the choice right now of one of two easies. Easy to do or easy not to do. I found something easy I could do that led to fortune, and I did not neglect to do it. And if you don't take care of neglect, it becomes an infection, and then it becomes a disease. Doing all it takes. That's the first benefit of positive reinforcement, building good habits. Now, the second benefit of positive reinforcement is that it creates the energy to fuel additional achievement. How easy is it to get up in the morning when you know you're not doing all that it takes? It's not very easy at all. Now, how easy is it to get up in the morning when you're pouring it on, doing the best you can? It's a whole different story. When you're resting to renew your reserves, it's much different than resting to avoid your day. When you're excited for what you've planned to accomplish for the day, it's amazing. You'll wake up before the alarm clock even tries to startle you awake. Your successes pave the way for more successes. It's the snowball effect. And pretty soon, the disciplines that were so difficult in the beginning are now part of your philosophy. Earn the most you possibly can. Be the most you possibly can. And here's why. The essence of life is growth. And here's what's interesting. Humans are the only life form that will do less than they possibly can. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. Trees send their roots down as deep as possible. Produce every leaf possible and every fruit possible. Now, why wouldn't human beings strive to their maximum possibility? Here's why. Because we've been given the dignity of choice. And here's the choice. To become part of what we could be, or to become all that we can be. My best advice for you is to choose the all. See as much as possible. Do as much as possible. Make as much fortune as possible. I'm telling you, once I got on track, I've never looked back. Pick up the challenge. Go for it. It's easy to have financial freedom. The more you do, the more you get.
I recommend money. Anybody that told you that money is different about money is because they don't have none. But you got to quit listening to people that ain't got money tell you about money. Money don't change people. Money allows you to be more of who you really are.
You can donate to causes that you believe in. It alleviates a lot of stress in your life. You become debt-free. I can tell you it's a good feeling. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves.
Hey, yeah, welcome.
Group is very powerful, less confrontational. You can help 1,000, but you cannot carry 3 on your back. When babies are born, they were not designed just to be carried. Someday you got to try your legs, even if you fall down, you do to try, cause you cannot just crawl around all your life. You cannot be carried all your life. Next, don't expect the pair. 3 to bear apples. You can hang apples on a pear tree. I'm telling you, it won't help here. What I learned you cannot change people, but they can change themselves. Forgiveness is you. It's like you shipping the poisons, waiting on them to die. You cannot ship the poisons of unforgiveness and expect them to die. Forgiveness is for you. You cannot drive your car looking in the rearview mirror.